Hi all, it's Barb. It's been a while since I did a vlog. I didn't do my reading challenge for March, so I thought I would do March and April here. Printouts aren't real great, but we're going to make them work. These were my March reads. I did The Bitter Side of Sweet, and the last name of the author, Sullivan's all I can tell you. The Radium Girls, Kate Moore, which this one was at least based upon a true story. I think the facts were true, just the characters may have been made up if I remember correctly. Carolina Moon, Black Cake, Matthew Perry's Friends, Lovers, and The Big Terrible Lie, and Such a Fun Age were the ones that the 6 books I read in March. In April, I read 10 books. I did good in April. A lot of them I listened to. A lot of times I've been going for the audiobook quite frequently because I like how those get read. Especially if it's like this one was read by these two, so that was kind of nice. It was read by the authors, so I've been trying to go for that. And sometimes I'll have my Alexa, if I say her name too loud, she'll go off. I'll have her read to me while I'm crafting or whatever, or I'll listen to the audiobooks while I'm crafting or cleaning. So I think that's why I got more in. I've been doing more cleaning, and I've been listening to them while I'm cleaning. But I read Clanlands by Sam Heughan, and is it Graham McTavish? I think that's his name. I'm not positive on that, but that one. Pigeon Tony's Last Stand by Lisa Scottolini. Happiness for Beginners. I think that one may have been by Catherine Center, I think her name is. Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult. That may have been the first one I read of hers, though I think I've done another one since then. Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. I've read a few of hers now, but my first book by her was within the last year. Nora Roberts' Undercurrents, that was a reread for me. Some things I still can't tell you. This one is by Misha Collins. He starred in Supernatural as Castiel the Angel. Waypoints by Sam Heughan. Again, this one was read by him, which I really like that. Secrets Exposed by Lisa Renee Jones. And then Winter in Paradise by Elaine Hildebrand. I started one other one. I couldn't even tell you what the name of it was. I didn't like it. I don't like to put books into do not finish, but I just couldn't get into the book. That doesn't mean I'll never read it. Sometimes I go back and I try those books again, and I'm fine with it. Sometimes it's just, I guess, not the right time to read it. But I'm like, I'm not going to keep trying to struggle to get through this one. I have other books from in the Libby app that I want to read before they're due. So I'm moving on. So that's what I did. That one I think was an Amazon borrowed book, so I just returned it to Amazon. I figured I can try and borrow it either through the library or if Amazon Prime. Amazon has like a lending library if you're a Prime member, that you can borrow books, and then they also have their first reads that you can get sometimes 2 books a month for free. Those ones are yours to keep. The lending library, there's no due date, but you can have, I think, a max of 10 books on your account out at any given time. I try to always leave like 1 or 2 spots in case something becomes available because each month they kind of retire some and they kind of bring some new ones in. So I kind of like to leave an empty slot or two in case something comes up that I'm like, oh, I wanted to read that one. But that's it. That's what I've read in those 2 months. I don't think this is totally updated, but this is my reading log for 2023. The yellows were January, the pink, and that one orange one, because I grabbed the wrong color marker and didn't realize it till after I colored it in, are February. The green is March, and the blue is April. I think I may have finished one more in April than what's down there. Maybe two. But then I've been doing the Book Girls guide. If you go to bookgirls.com, they have 4 reading challenges. 3 of them are guided, meaning there's an assigned topic every month. And then one of them, there's already books because they've done that one in the past. And you can choose which topic you want to do each month. I'm trying to think of which one is the one that's not. I think I know, but I'm not positive. The Lifetime of Reading. This might be the one that is self-guided right now. Let's see. March, I read Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed for a book about a character in their 20s. And then this month I read Happiness for Beginners by Catherine Center for the book about the protagonists needed to be in their 30s. And then this one is Read Around the USA. You can see there's different colored sections. Each geographic region, the way they divided them up, there's a different one assigned each month. Like in March, it was I think it was this area right here for March. Well, that says November. That's not right then. Oh, it was South Carolina, not North Carolina. It was this section right here for March. You needed a place in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, or Florida. I read Carolina Moon, which took place in South Carolina. So that was mine by Nora Roberts. That was actually a reread for me, but I wanted to read that book and it fit the prompt, so I used it. And then in April, you needed to do one of the U.S. territories, islands, U.S. islands. So I read Winter in Paradise by Elin Hildenberg, which I believe took place in the U.S. Virgin Islands, if I remember correctly. I know it qualified for that section. And then the decades in Reading Challenge, each month there's a different decade assigned. This one could be that prompt, but I'm pretty sure the one that is self-guided was the Lifetime of Reading. But like I said, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it was, though, because this one says March 1920s. I read The Radium Girls by Kate Moore for that one. I really enjoyed that one. I like reading. I've discovered I don't mind reading some nonfiction if it's about something especially that I either didn't know about or something that I've always just wanted to know more about, if you get it. Like I like reading more. I've always loved the Anne Frank book, her diary. So I like learning more about that time in history. I think it's important that we learn about that time in history because there's so many indicators that we're getting ready to repeat that, only this time we may be the bad guys, and I don't like that. But I think it's really important that we have our eyes open and realize that some of this behavior is dangerous. It puts us on a slippery slope. We may not be there yet, but we're headed there. But this one was about took place in the 1920s, and it was about they were making, I think, like clocks, but they were painting them with radium. I mean, at the time they didn't necessarily realize how dangerous it was, but some of the people that were hiring these women to do this, because it was basically women they were hiring to do it, did realize that it was that dangerous, but they hid it from the girls and tried to make it seem like it was actually healthy for you. Which, can you imagine that? A radioactive substance healthy for you? But it was really interesting, and I wouldn't mind reading a few more books that kind of delve into that a bit. And I like the historical fiction too, if they've done their research and the basic facts are, about the radium and stuff are true. Maybe the character and their backstory somewhat, is made up, but them working in that environment and what happened to them are based upon real elements and could realistically have happened. So I kind of like that type of historical fiction. And then for the 1930s, I read The Nightingale by Christian Hanna. And of course, that took place during World War II. One thing that I didn't really realize was that the Nazis targeted more than just Jewish people, because you always hear about the Jewish people being targeted, which, is horrific in and of itself, but they targeted more than that. Basically, if you weren't blonde and blue-eyed, you were a target for them. And it's like, it's just scary, and it's scary to think that so many people don't believe that stuff happened, which dooms us to repeat it. Now this one's harder because it doesn't tell you which month is which area on the map, but it does have, let's see, March was The Bitter Side of Sweet by Tara Sullivan, which took a book that took place in Africa. I've read a few books that take place there, and some of the things that happen, because this one too was based upon some true elements. I mean, the characters weren't real, but the things that happened on these, like, work farms to children were true. And then for April, a book set on an island was Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult. Now that one was interesting. It did take place during COVID-19, so if you're not ready for a book that takes place during that time, that's not a book for you. And then, of course, I have a few. I'm not going to go over these ones because I couldn't even tell you which books I did, and my writing's so sloppy. But I also have been doing these challenges. These ones I don't look specifically for books that meet the prompts. I use any book, and I do reuse the books from the Book Girls Guide for the prompts too. And I just look and see, will this book fit any of the prompts that are on there? That's how I do these last few. This one was the 2023 Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. So I don't normally get all of the prompts done for these ones. The 52 Book Club Reading Challenge. It's just kind of fun to see how many I can fill in. The Nerd Daily Reading Challenge. Now some of these I have problems with, because, like, one of them does TikTok books, and I'm not on TikTok, so yeah, I mean, if you really search, you can find, but I just want to do it with books that I've read. I don't want to specifically have to go out and find those. Some of them will do books that are hashtagged a certain way, and I don't do that. Sometimes I can tell by the hashtag that my book might have qualified for it, and I count it whether I know whether it actually was shared via that tag or not. And then this one is the Beyond the Bookends Challenge. I still haven't done Marches because, like I said, these ones I just fill in if I can. This is one I probably could try to do, but sometimes what I'll do, and I might go through these and see, is not necessarily do these in order. Try to see if I read a book during that month that would fit any of those prompts. trying to think. Full cast audiobook. I was trying to think if any of the audiobooks. So technically I could do the one by Graham and Sam. And this one is a romance book challenge. I'm not doing real well on that one. The one I have been having kind of fun with is filling out how many books I read each month. I don't really have a specific goal for each month. I just have a general overall. I've been having fun filling in the alphabet one and the bonus ones. And then I've been having fun doing the stats. The publication year, the star rating. I suppose I could have put that one that I did not finish in there and gave it 0 stars, but I didn't want to do that because I feel I need to read the full book in order to really rate it. And then what format was it in? Was it a digital book, an audio book, or a physical book? And then what genre it was in, how many pages it had. And then this one's kind of fun. What was your favorite book for the month? Now, one thing I have done with this one is I've been rereading some of Nora's. I've been trying to read a Nora or J.D. Robb. J.D. Robb is pseudonym. Alter. It's another name she writes under. So if it's a brand new book to me, I can use it as a favorite. But if it's a reread, like Undercurrents, now I could have easily make that my favorite for April. I haven't decided my favorite for April yet, but I kind of set it up so that rereads couldn't be counted for that. What's funny is that one I did on audiobook, and then there's the book to screen challenge. So I've been trying to, if a book has been made into a movie or TV series, watch that. But hubby came in when I was listening to Undercurrents. He's like, "What is this book?" I said, "Oh, it's Undercurrents by Nora Roberts." I said, "It's a reread for me." He goes, "It sounds really interesting." So it was kind of fun. Maybe I'll have to try and check it out again and let him listen to it and see how he likes it. But that's what I read. I was thinking I might do some chit chat here, but I'm already at the 16-minute mark, so I think I'll just save that for another video. I do have a lot to really share on that front. But anyways, I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.